What you're about to see are the most bone-rattling, jaw-dropping, career-defining moments in UFC history. 10 knockouts that didn't just end fights, they changed the sport forever. This is the top 10 UFC knockouts of all time. Let's count them down. Number 10, Amanda Nunes versus Chris Cyborg, UFC 232. Cyborg walked into that octagon as what many called the most dangerous woman in MMA history. 17 straight knockout wins, never seriously hurt. Nunes had other ideas. In just 51 seconds, the Lioness swarmed Cyborg with relentless strikes and forced the stoppage. It wasn't just a knockout, it was a statement. And it made Nunes the undisputed greatest female fighter of all time. Number 9, Shogun Rua versus Lyoto Machida, the rematch. Machida was one of the most elusive fighters the UFC had ever seen. He had never been knocked down inside the octagon. Shogun came forward like a wrecking ball, refused to play Machida's counter game, and landed a left hook that sent the Dragon crashing to the canvas for the very first time in his UFC career. Number 8, Anderson Silva versus Vitor Belfort, UFC 126. Belfort was supposed to be the striker dangerous enough to actually threaten the Spider. Then Silva pulled out a move that nobody in that arena expected, a perfect front kick, straight to the jaw. Belfort's legs buckled instantly. It was like watching a martial arts highlight reel come to life in real time, artistic, sudden, and completely devastating. Number 7, Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje, UFC 300. With literally 1 second left on the clock in round 5, both men agreed to stand in the center and just throw. Gaethje accepted. Big mistake. Holloway cracked him with a clean overhand right, and Gaethje dropped face first to the canvas as the horn sounded. 1 second, 1 punch. UFC 300 had already been a historic night. Number 6, Dan Henderson versus Michael Bisping. This one had months of personal bad blood behind it. Bisping had been loud, relentless, and disrespectful in the build-up. Then Henderson loaded up the H-bomb, his legendary overhand right, and put Bisping completely to sleep. He even dove in with a follow-up shot before the referee could step in. Controversial? Maybe. Iconic? Absolutely. Number 5, Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman. Edwards was losing, clearly, on every judge's scorecard, heading into the final minute of round 5. The title looked gone. Then, one perfectly timed left head kick caught Usman flush and put the reigning champion out cold. Rocky Edwards had just written one of the most dramatic moments in UFC history. Number 4, Holly Holm versus Ronda Rousey. Rousey undefeated, untouchable, the biggest star in combat sports. Holm was given almost no chance. Then she boxed Rousey apart for a round and a half, landed a stiff jab, and finished with a head kick that put the champion flat on the canvas in round 2. One of the greatest upsets in sporting history. Number 3, Francis Ngannou versus Alistair Overeem. Nobody expected what happened next. Ngannou loaded up a full-force uppercut from his heels, the kind of punch that looks impossible in a real fight, and it connected directly under Overeem's chin. This was the knockout that announced Ngannou to the world as the most terrifying finisher the heavyweight division had ever seen. Number 2, Jorge Masvidal versus Ben Askren. 5 seconds. That's all it took. Masvidal met Askren's takedown attempt, the thing Askren built his entire career on, with a flying knee directly to the face. Askren was out before he hit the ground. 5 seconds. The fastest knockout in UFC history. Number 1, Conor McGregor versus Jose Aldo. 13 seconds. Aldo had been featherweight champion for a decade, 25 wins in his last 26 fights. He was widely considered the greatest featherweight of all time, and he had never, not once, been knocked out. Then McGregor threw a single left hand as Aldo lunged forward. It landed perfectly, the fastest title fight finish in UFC history. This is the greatest knockout the UFC has ever seen. If you enjoyed this, drop a like, subscribe for more UFC content. We'll see you in the next one.